Isn't that a cute little picture? Isn't that nice? Look at John McCain posing with his terrorist buddies. Isn't that nice? Hey everybody, I'm Fabian for Liberty, Fabian Calvo. You're watching alternative media television. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Right there, John McCain posing with his palling around with terrorists. If I remember correctly, I thought that was kind of what he said about Obama during the when he ran for president. He was saying, well, Obama's, running around Bill Ayers, but McCain's doing the same thing. And he expects us to take his guarantee, okay? He's guaranteeing that the Russians and the Chinese may stand down. Well, that might be the case, John McCain, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, when most people in China were still running around on bikes. But it's not the case anymore, okay? And I find it disturbing, quite frankly, okay, that somebody as deranged as McCain, who clearly is an example of how deranged and insane and megalomaniac these politicians and these congressmen are, he can issue a guarantee. As many of you know, Christopher Green confronted John McCain. And McCain, he talked to him about, hey, there's Chinese warships, Russian warships. In fact, Russia just sent another warship called the Killer Cruiser to Syria. And McCain says they won't do anything. And he's using historical precedent saying, well, the Israelis and the U.S., we've striked before. They've never done anything else. Well, McCain, I got to say that your lack of really understanding the situation, yet wanting us to commit U.S. troops and weapons and treasure to another foreign military escapade is, quite frankly, again, it's really disturbing. What McCain fails to understand is that the world is fundamentally changing. The world is upon the eve of a global economic reset that will usher in a new world reserve currency that overnight will mean that we won't even be able to afford this fancy, large military that we have. Now, let me be clear. I don't like to say that, I don't like to know that these treasonous politicians have taken us to the point of no return, have completely destroyed our currency, and are so deranged. They're wanting to continue the war effort in the mad attempt to preserve and keep the status quo of the petrodollar system. But the Chinese and Russians, you see, they don't necessarily even need to fight back militarily. They know that they could fight back financially. I will guarantee right now, and let me just say this other point, with respect to Obama giving a speech yesterday in front of a freaking green screen. Did anybody else notice that? I mean, you look at the video footage again, it starts with him talking, and it's so bizarre. I mean, if you look at my channel, going back now several years, I've done a bunch of videos in front of a green screen. I mean, basically they cut you out, right? And I'm watching this and I'm thinking, he's in front of a green screen. Where the hell is he giving this speech from? Like some kind of secret bunker location where, the world's about to be put on fire on the day of 9/11. It's truly remarkable. He gives a speech that makes no sense. No one in the world is for this intervention except maybe the French. That's it. And he's talking about how, we must strike because children are being gassed, yet, children here are being dumbed down with fluoride. Children here are being killed in these gun-free zones, left and right, like Chicago, New Jersey, Newark, New Jersey. In the last 30 days, over 40 people murdered innocent victims because people don't have guns to basically protect themselves. It is really a travesty of justice what we're seeing these criminal cabal of politicians do. We can't take their word for anything. Will a Syrian strike eventually come? Well, now what I believe has happened is what I said would happen last week, is no strike in Syria, especially after spending all the treasure and all the financial burden of relocating all the military aircraft and everything else into that area, to me is clear indication that the U.S. has lost superpower status. And look, I'm against the strike. I'm just saying, these nut jobs that want the strike, that all of a sudden stop, it's not because John Kerry all of a sudden off the cuff threw something up. They had to plan something because I guarantee you the Chinese and Russians are saying, look, you strike And we are going to strike you economically where it hurts the most. And I've talked about this on my channel at length. I've covered this last week on this channel. It is a battle over the petrodollar and the world reserve currency, and will eventually lead to some kind of World War III event until there is this global economic reset. I'm Fabian for Liberty, reporting for Alternative Media Television. Thank you for watching. I'm out.